Hello everyone, let's take a look at the MythMaster. So a while ago I made a video providing just a kind of a brief glimpse of this game. It was really just me walking around aimlessly for a few minutes and just trying just trying whatever came to mind. I often make videos like that where I just want to introduce games and not really necessarily play them all the way through. But the game kind of stuck out in my memory because it is very transparently it's a King's Quest knockoff, basically made by one person, and obviously the quality is questionable in some spots, but it is actually kind of a charming little game, and there are a couple of video walkthroughs of this game on YouTube, but I couldn't find a real Let's Play video with commentary and such, and people seem to like my voice, and they seem to like my commentary on these games sometimes. So I thought let's have a little fun with this game and just show what it's all about. So I'll go ahead and go into the MythMaster directory, and let's go ahead and run good old list and take a look at what we have here. So there is a text file here, an mm1guide.txt, so I guess we'll want to read this. So let's go ahead and do that now. So, beginning of MythMaster, a Vagabond's Adventure, version 1.4, story graphics programming by Carol L. Stanley. So yeah, this game is basically pretty much the work of just one person, Carol L. Stanley. Notice that it doesn't say sound or music because there isn't really any sound or music in the game, but yeah, the graphics and the story and the programming were all done by one person, which is pretty impressive. Warning, read all documentation before trying to play this game. The frustration you prevent may be your own. So I'm going to try to do that. I will at least, I'm not going to read all this out loud, but I'll at least kind of page through this a bit. So yeah, it is a shareware 3D EJ interactive adventure game you'll enjoy playing for many hours. Become Anton, a likable young hero trying to change his image as a bumbler. So, I'm not sure that the game really explains the plot very well. I took a look at the game for a while and I couldn't really figure out what the plot here is. Yeah, so it actually explains all the files that came with the game, which is nice. At the bottom here, it mentions a validation mechanism, which kind of fails on DOSBox X. I'll get to that later, but yeah, so here's the version history. So yeah, first relocation in April of 1992. So yeah, it talks about this validate program, which is used to make sure that the game's files are not corrupt, but yeah, again, I'll get to that later. So, setting the scene. Alright, here we go. This is the first great tale of the MythMaster, a nickname given to an adventuresome young man seeking fame and fortune as a troubleshooting... I'm not sure that that word means what you think it means. Vagabond from the kingdom of Ethra. Anton Schlepp came from humble beginnings. His parents were farmers who worked hard their whole lives to have a comfortable home and enough to eat. When growing up, Anton had heard amazing tales of power and magic that could reach beyond his own world into the cosmos. But from an early age, Anton showed a strong inclination for being a world-class klutz. At the age of 18, his parents finally had to turn him out of the house when he accidentally burned down the barn. Anton was thunderstruck! Sorry, I don't do a very good AC/DC singer impression. He set out with only a knapsack and as many provisions as he could carry, but he was determined to change his luck. He was a hopeful dreamer, bumbling through life as he always had until upon entering the kingdom of Caffrey. He happened upon a man in a very great hurry with a remarkable story. Go on an adventure. The game lets you become the stories, I think that should be story Y''S, central character, and control everything he does to discover the quest. Okay, so this is just telling you how to start the game. Here we go. It is very helpful to make a map of the territory you cover. This makes getting around much quicker. And yeah, the function keys, these are kind of important, but I mean, pressing F1 shows them to you in games, so you don't necessarily need to memorize these. Maximum score in the game is 206 points. Notes to the player, every attempt has been made to eliminate possible problems. If you discover a bug and the program does something obviously unintended, then reboot DOS or turn off your machine. If the program does something it shouldn't do, then just turn off your computer and it will stop doing it. That's a good troubleshooting strategy. So you can send your comments to Carol L. Stanley in Corvallis, Oregon. I'm going to assume that address probably does not... Well, the address probably exists, but I'm going to assume that Carol Stanley is probably not at that address anymore. And this is explaining how shareware works. I'm going to assume that if you register the game, you probably will not get a free hint book or a certificate. And I don't think there was ever a sequel to this game, unfortunately. I don't think that the game was successful enough to warrant a sequel. Sad. And here we go. So here's some licensing stuff, some legal disclaimers and things. Here's the warranty. The software sold as is. Cautions to the shareware buyer. Important comment because of the possibility of corruption, blah, blah. Okay, that's about a virus infection. Acknowledgements. Many thanks to David R. Stanley, my husband, for support and encouragement in the writing of this game. Thanks again to the beta testers. And yeah, the game was distributed in a LHA self-extracting archive, which is, I guess, why the credit to Yoshi, the author of LHA, is given at the end. Okay, not to be confused with Yoshi from Mario. This is a Japanese man named Yoshi who made the LHA, originally LHA-RC, but later just LHA archiving tool. Okay, so I'm going to run the game, but I just want to say I don't necessarily trust this game's save systems. So what I was going to do was I was going to try to run this game not in stock DOSBox, because stock DOSBox still doesn't have save states. I was going to try to run this game in a DOSBox fork that has save states. Now, the one that I've been using for a long time is Daum. I've talked often about DOSBox Daum. But the fast forward function in DOSBox Daum is kind of choppy, and this game really needs a fast forward function. It desperately needs one. You'll see why. So I thought, well, what about DOSBox X? DOSBox X is a little more polished. It's still maintained. Maybe it works a little better. But the game does not run in DOSBox X. If you try to run this game in DOSBox X, it says the game files have been modified, and it just refuses to run. I don't know why. It has some kind of bug that causes it to not run in DOSBox X. I don't know if that's a bug in the game or a bug in DOSBox X. I've not had this problem in either game, but yeah, so about that validation thing. The game really tries hard to validate its files and make sure that the files are not corrupted, but if you run this game in DOSBox X, then it just thinks the files have been corrupted and it doesn't run, which is kind of unfortunate. So yeah, a lot of these amateurish sort of adventure games, they have problems with the save system. Like, save games often get corrupted. I've seen that in several such games. One example, actually, just before I start, I'm going to go ahead and, sorry, I know I'm going off on a tangent here, but before I do that, before I run MythMaster, let me go ahead and run this game, because this game is so bad that you kind of have to see it to appreciate how bad it is. The Adventures of Melvin Freebush. Listen to that wonderful music. This is a 3D adventure game from Sherwood Forest Software, copyright 1993. Welcome to the world of our hero Melvin Q. Freebush. Your mission is quite easy. You must help our hapless guy to have the perfect date with the girl of his dreams. There is one small problem. Melvin doesn't know who she is, or where she is for that matter. So you have a problem to solve. I can't just press enter. I guess I have to type in something. There we go. You can control Melvin's movement by using the 4 main arrow keys. You type input in from the keyboard, try everything, look everywhere, take everything, but be careful. One wrong move will cause the end of Melvin's adventure. No victory, no win, and worst of all, no girl. Good luck and be careful, and above all, have fun. Type anything you want to continue. Please note we're releasing this game as shareware, and it must be registered as such. To register, please spend $15. Wow. $15. This game is not worth $5, quite honestly. I'm sorry. I know that's harsh, but that's just the honest truth. To Sherwood Forest Software on... Okay, it's on Ohio Street, but it's not in Ohio. It's in Sharon, I guess it's Pennsylvania? I'm assuming that's Pennsylvania. If you're paying, catalog plus a free game or two. Okay, it says type let's get going to start, but actually you can just type anything to start. There you go. This is the game. So yeah, we start off in Pussy Willow. This game is basically, if you couldn't already guess, it's basically kind of like, well, it's meant to be a knockoff of Leisure Suit Larry, but it's really only a Leisure Suit Larry clone in the concept that you are this guy, a kind of overweight loser who just wants to get laid. That's the concept of the game. In pretty much every other way, it doesn't really feel like a Leisure Suit Larry game. It is the station for the town of Pussy Willow. So yeah, can we open door? You have no business going inside the station. Yeah, the town is actually called Pussy Willow because why not? And now we are, I guess, outside a bar. This is a rundown bar located in the rundown section of the rundown town. Oh boy. I wonder if it is run down. Let's open the rundown door. You open the door and step in. That was actually a pretty cool door opening sound effect. I have to give the game credit. That at least was a nice door opening sound effect. That was probably the best part of the game. There's the dimly lit bar. So yeah, this is the bar, and a lot of the characters kind of, I don't know why, that a lot of the characters have the mouths of the characters just constantly animating as if they're constantly speaking, even though I guess we can talk to this guy and talk to the man. The bartender tells about the mud wrestling contest that will be happening tomorrow at the bar. Oh boy. Okay, so that's what's going on at the bar, and yeah, you can see we move pretty slowly. If you press F1, it claims that pressing F8 will switch to fast speed, but it doesn't actually. If you... Hold on, how to get out of this? Okay. If I press F8, it doesn't actually make Melvin Freebush move any faster. So this is also a problem in MythMaster, the game that I'm about to actually play, and that becomes important. Playing this in DOSBox becomes important because DOSBox has a fast forward key. In stock DOSBox, it is, I believe it's Alt F12. Yes, it is. See how much faster we are when I'm holding down Alt F12? Zoom! Even this is actually kind of slow, but at least this is at least twice as fast as it was before. Let's go inside the pawn shop. Enter the dusty old pawn shop. Here we go. Here we are inside the dusty old pawn shop. Take a look around. The man is the pawn shop owner. What a great description of the room. Let's talk to the man. The owner tells you about a store promotion. He's giving away bottles of cologne. Oh boy, I guess we need to get the... Okay, that's enough. That's the... Wow. Other products from Sherwood Forest Software. Big Bob's Drive-In, Shoplifter, Way Out Willie's Circus, Safari Sam Ghostman. These people made a lot of games. I say these people, again, it was probably just one person. I'm going to guess Sherwood Forest Software is probably one person, but wow, that one person made a lot of games. Anyway, that was Melvin Freebush. That is probably all that I'm ever going to show of that game because, first of all, because it does have some nudity in it because, you know, it's meant to be like again, it's kind of like it's meant to be a Leisure Suit Larry knockoff. But honestly, it's not even worth it. Like the nudity in air quotes in the game is not even worth playing the game for. It's so crude and it's so bad. So yeah. So first of all, because it has some nudity and it probably would get flagged on YouTube. And secondly, the game is just terrible. Now, MythMaster is not an excellent game. You know, it's not the best game that you'll ever see in your life, but it has a certain sort of charm to it. So I thought that it deserved a little bit more attention. So let's go ahead and run this, and we'll see how we do. So this is, yeah, copyright 1991, Carol Stanley, all rights reserved. Do we want to run the setup routine? I'll press any other key to run the setup routine. Do you want a joystick or keyboard? I don't have a joystick, so I'll press K for keyboard. Do you want to hear a joke about potassium? K. You have chosen the keyboard. To change to the joystick, start this program over. Following instructions, press Enter. Okay, cool. The keyboard is the control device. Hit any key to continue. Yeah, and again, this game is really, really obsessed with file corruption. It really just freaks out and really wants to make sure that the checksums on the files and everything are accurate. Anyway, okay, So I didn't get time to read that, but here we go. This is, I guess, how the game starts. Oh my, what's that? Oh, oh my, what is happening here? I guess this is the start of the game. This is a very old brick wall. There is an opening in the wall. I can see that, but what's with the gentleman standing in front of me? You can tell from his clothes that he's a woodcutter. Okay, cool. Can I talk to the man? Which one do you want to talk to? How many men are there? I think there's only one. Talk woodcutter? The woodcutter tells you that he's in a hurry to leave the kingdom. His wife has disappeared and he's afraid to stay. Okay, well, I guess he was just waiting for us to talk to him so he could tell us that, and then he's just gonna disappear. Okay, and now suddenly we can walk again. Okay, cool. Great introduction to the game. So, I'm going to press F1, and that shows us the basic game commands. So, yeah. So, what we will very, very, very desperately need in this game is that F7 key, the speed adjustment. So, I'm going to go and press it now. So, we start off at normal speed. It says your hero is presently traveling at a normal pace considering lives hang in the balance. Do they really? Do we even know what we're doing? I still don't even know what we're doing. I mean, from what I gathered from reading the text file that just, the so-called guide to the game, it seems like the plot of the game is basically we're a loser who wants to have an adventure, which in itself is not bad. I mean, okay, you want to have an adventure, sure, you can. It's not necessarily a bad goal to have, but do lives really hang in the balance? Do we even know what we're doing? Because I don't. Okay, so we're at normal speed now. If I press S for slow, is he? Oh wow, this is actually the speed that he moves at when he's on slow. I mean, it is slow, but I mean, why would you play the game on this? Is there any reason to play the game on this speed? Honestly, okay. So if I press F7, it says your hero is presently traveling at a snail's pace. That is true. If you press F for fast, it's a little faster. And now it says your hero is presently traveling as fast as his tired legs can carry him. Okay, I'll keep it on fast. But even this is still going to be painfully slow if we have to play the whole game like this, which is why it's important to use the fast forward mechanism in DOSBox. And again, in stock DOSBox, it is Alt F12, which makes him move like that. Considerably faster than that, which is his normal movement speed. So yeah, I'm just playing this in regular old DOSBox. Like I said, I wanted to play it in either DOSBox Down or DOSBox X because those have save states. But like I said, it won't run in DOSBox X and DOSBox Down's fast forward movement is a little choppy. Like here, you can see the fast forward is pretty smooth. Like his movement when I'm holding down Alt F12, it's actually pretty smooth. In Down, it's kind of choppy. Like he'll slow up and he'll speed up and slow down, and sometimes he'll just stop altogether, and you'll have to kind of kickstart him again. So anyway, let's see. Should we take a look around this room? I mean, look at the wall. I realized there's an opening in the wall. Is there anything you can tell me about it? The game doesn't understand opening. Yeah, the game is a little bit uncooperative. I think somebody commented on my previous video about the game saying they tried playing the game and it's just kind of frustrating because the game doesn't really work with you. The game doesn't really meet you halfway very well. Like it really just is kind of obstinate sometimes in terms of not knowing words that it should know and a few other things like that. We'll see some examples of that. I mean, it is a flawed game. Overall, I like this game, but it has some flaws, so I'm going to try to be patient. The castle guard, and whenever you type a command, you get that beep. That's it. That's like the whole sound. That's the whole audio to the game. There's no music. You just get a beep. The castle garden is adorned with a nice fountain, a bench, and many beautiful red roses. Can we get a rose? You can't get the rose. Look, rose vines grow on the wall here. They have nasty-looking thorns. Can we get a thorn? You can't get ye thorn. Okay, but why not? Can I sit on the bench? This game doesn't understand that. Can't see anything unusual. All right. Look at the fountain. The water fountain is shallow. You see some shiny objects. Can we look at the objects? This game doesn't understand that. Look at the shiny objects? Well, what does the game understand? Do I need to get closer? Oh yeah, F2 in this game is repeat command. In most Sierra adventures it was F3. In this game it's F2 to repeat your last command. So, come on. Look water? Okay, look water does it. You see a key and a few coins laying, I think that should be lying, laying at the bottom of the fountain. All right, cool. A key and a few coins. Let's get the key. You're not close enough. I'm going to guess that gray dot here on the left is the key. Try again, get key. You're not close enough? All right. I'm about as close as I can get. It doesn't let me move closer than this. So yeah, this is going to be, I think, a recurring problem in the game. The game telling you you're not close enough when you're about as close as you can get to whatever you're trying to interact with. Seriously, where? Seriously? Okay, there we go. That was the place to get it. And let's get the coins. Okay, cool. I like that the effort was put in to actually show him bending down. Like, it doesn't just say, okay, you actually see him bend down for like a couple of frames to actually pick up the thing. That's a nice touch, but I think I would have liked it. I think I would have preferred if they'd put that effort into making the distance recognition reasonable rather than, let's see, is this a place where we can die? Let's see. The ferocious-looking cats guard the castle doors. Beautiful red roses climb the brick wall. Can we get a rose? No. Can we look at the cats? Don't get too close. The cats are chained but would rip you to pieces if you got in range of their claws. Talk to the cat. The cats respond with growls and hisses. Kill the cat. You're not a killer. Eat the cat. You can't do that during the game. Would have been a nice gag if they'd said you're not Alf, but oh well. And I like cats in real life. I would never want to harm a cat in real life, but it's a game, and these are not very friendly cats, so I'm just doing stuff in the game. I actually like cats, honestly. I don't harm cats in real life. Okay, this might be a good... Okay, I'm going to go ahead and trust the game's save system. Like I said, I've kind of been burned a few too many times in games like this, not saving properly and getting corrupted saves, and because this is such an amateurishly made game, it feels like the kind of game where, I mean, that's why I showed you Melvin Freebush, because it feels like that kind of game where the saves might get corrupted. But I'm just gonna have to trust this because I'm running in stock DOSBox. I don't have a save state system, so I'm just gonna have to save using the in-game save system. All right, type the number of the game to save, then enter. I guess I'll type number 1. Type in the description. All right, unfriendly cats. All right, are the cats going to kill me if I get too close? Well, I walked up to the door. Open door. Perhaps you'd find out if anyone is home. Knock door. The cats attack you. Whoa. Whoa. Wow. I like how the cats waited until I knocked. Like, they let me walk right up to the door, but as soon as I knocked on the door, then suddenly the cats just lit into us. Wow. Quit or restore saved game. Okay. Good that All right. It seems like the save system is working for now. I don't know that I would trust it long term, but oh, this is nice. This is a nice little scene with I like how they put the castle in the background there. I like how you can walk down here and see the castle in the background up there. And okay, all right, that's cool. So I'm going to go ahead and use the fast forward facility to not dawdle too terribly long on these screens. So I'm going to make liberal use of fast forward throughout this Let's Play, just so you know. All right, looks like there's not much here. It's a high brick wall. There are a few bushes and rocks here too. Can I climb the wall? You can't do that. All right. What if I walk down from here? Yeah, it's just, okay, I'm on the other side of the... All right. Okay, I guess that was that. I'm going to guess that I can't get into that castle right now. So F5, or tab, is our inventory. Okay, I'll just use tab because that was standard in Sierra Adventures. So we're carrying a coin and a key. You have two... Okay, on the inventory screen it says coin, but it's actually, here it says we have 2 silver coins. Which one is it, game? Do we have a coin or 2 coins? All right, okay, I'm going to assume we have 2 coins. And look at the key. It is a brass skeleton key for unlocking your skeleton in case your skeleton is locked. All right, I guess we'll just explore the countryside for a while and see what we can find out here in this crazy MythMaster world. There are lots of trees here, and you see a high brick wall. Can I climb the wall from here? I mean, no, I can't. Can look at the trees. The trees are pretty in the sunlight. Okay, cool. Looks like a couple of them have been cut down, probably by some woodcutter, or maybe by a beaver. It's every well. There are a few bushes and rocks here too. What is that? It looks like there's some animal, that white thing in the bottom center of the screen. Is that a bird? It's a goose. Okay. Will the goose fly away if I approach it? Let's talk to the goose. The goose just honks at you, as gooses so often do. You can't get the goose. Is it going to run away if I approach it, or fly away? No. All right. It's just kind of sits there. It's just kind of chilling out, minding its own business. Can I pet the goose? Just do that. All right. I'm going to assume we do something with the goose later, but it seems like right now we can't really do anything with it, so that's okay. That's cool. Goose just minding its own business. I'm gonna let the goose just goose around, and I'll keep walking. This is a very rocky area. I knew our road was getting kinda rocky. This is a pretty place with its unnecessary apostrophe flowers and lava formations. Can I get a flower? You can't get the flower. Can I get some lava? You can't get the lava. Can you get the lava? The rock here was formed from lava in the distant past. It's pitted and sharp. Look at the roses. Oh, I guess they're not roses. They're some other type of flower, but flowers are pretty. You wish you had time to stop and smell them. Are we in that much of a hurry? Like, are we seriously in that much of a hurry that I mean, I don't even know what we're supposed to be doing. It seems like we're just kind of bumbling around. Are we supposed to be in that much of a hurry that we... Okay, can't. The game doesn't even understand smell flowers. It's not a matter of time. It's just a matter of the game's parse or not understanding smell. All right, well, where are we here? This is... The bones of unfortunate travelers lay in heaps at the base of the mountain. Okay. Are these people who fell from the mountain, or did they get eaten? I mean, that one on the right there looks like it's sitting in some kind of cave. Is it like some animal's cave there, or what's going on here? The bones have been picked clean. You must continue on. I hope you won't come to such an untimely end. Can I get the bones? You can't get the bone. Can I search the bones? Game doesn't understand search. All right. I'm just wondering if maybe these dead people have something on them worth taking, but I guess not. Is that a cave? All right, I guess there's not a cave here. All right. And I can't seem to walk up the mountain from here, so I guess... I mean, I feel like there must be a reason why these skeletons are here, but maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? Okay, is this... Fresh lava flows down this side of the mountain. It's very hot here. Is this like an actively erupting volcano? That seems kinda... It seems a little bit dangerous, doesn't it? Yeah, just a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and save here. Lava. I'm going to go ahead and assume that I die if I touch the red lava. You are vaporized by the heat from the flowing lava. All right. Well, good thing I saved the game. That lava honestly doesn't seem to be flowing. I'm not sure how this works, because if this is an actively erupting volcano, that lava would actually be flowing, but it does not appear to be doing so. It's just kind of sitting there, which I'm not complaining. I mean, I'm not saying that I specifically wish to be burned to death by the lava. I'm just saying it doesn't really seem to be an erupting volcano. It seems like that's not quite how volcanoes and lava work. This mountain is steep. A few trees grow at its base. Can I get a tree? You can't get a tree. All right. Well, that's reasonable. I mean, some things it's kind of like, well, why can't I take that? But, okay, if you can't take the tree, I guess that's kind of reasonable, isn't it? A very large and interesting tree grows here. Seeds from the tree litter the ground. Okay, cool. Can I get a seed? You're not close enough. All right. Well, let's see. Where do I need to stand? Are those seeds? Oh. You needed some tree climbing lessons. You've broken your neck falling from this tree. A fitting fate for a klutz. Okay, so apparently you can climb this tree by just stepping up to it. Hold on, let's try this again. I was not expecting that outcome, sorry. So we're here, and if I say climb tree, it says just do that. Just do it! Do it now! Okay, so we can actually climb this tree. Okay. So we just need to make sure to not fall from the tree. I think I'll go there later. I think there's something we need to have before we go up the tree. I seem to recall there is some item that we need before going there, so I'll save that for later. But if we look at the ground, you see, can I get the seeds from here? Come on, man. Where do I get the seeds? Oh, man. Okay, there we go. Oh, that was the seed. Okay. Yeah, the game has some serious problems with locations and like these kinds of you're not close enough situations. This pastoral scene includes a river, a large rock, and a few trees. Let's take a look at that rock. A rock is a rock. Well, I guess I can't really argue with that statement, can I? I don't feel like I can. I feel like that's a, yeah, compelling argument. Can I take the rock? You can't get the rock. Can I move the rock? Touch the rock. Kiss the rock. Climb this tree. Look in tree. Looks like the tree has a hole in the bottom. There's a hole in this tree. Cool. Look in the hole. Those were the dark, but you managed to see that there is a trumpet hidden in the hole. Seriously, who just puts a trumpet in a hole in a tree like that? I mean, if you want to hide your trumpet, first of all, why would you want to hide your trumpet? Is it like, okay, let's not overthink this. Can I take the trumpet? You're not close enough. Well, why am I not surprised? Okay, cool. All right, so we're actually doing pretty well. So we have now a seed and a trumpet. Let's take a look at the seed. The seed from the strange tree is long and that doesn't look like a seed. Is that green thing the seed? That looks like a worm, not a seed. It's like no seed I've tasted. All right, and if we look at the trumpet windsock, the trumpet is very shiny. Blow the trumpet. This game doesn't understand that. Play the trumpet. The game doesn't understand that. Use trumpet. Not here. Okay, if you say so, game. Well, I guess this seems like a good point of stuff. I've already been playing this for, well, I was going to say I've been playing this for half an hour, but I haven't. It took me like 15 minutes to, or even more, to actually get into this game. But still, this has been a good first video, I think, of the MythMaster. So I'll go ahead and, once again, I'll save with F3. Got trumpet. Okay. I think that's all for now. So yeah, this was the beginning of the MythMaster, a Vagabond's adventure. We got a trumpet, and we still have no idea what the story of the game is or what we're doing, but I'm having fun. I'm having fun enjoying exploring these King's Quest-esque scenarios and scenes, and I hope that you are as well. So I will talk to you folks later. Ta-ta for now.